What's up, y'all? This is Paycheck and Red.
And we just wanted to hop on real quick and let you know about Roughneck Beard Company.
As the epitome of growth, beards are often the first impression. Roughneck believes that to make the best impression on the world, that beard should represent you. They believe that every man should have the tools they need to reach their own beard excellence and the confidence to grow personally alongside their facial hair. Itchy, dry, and patchy beards are a problem that no man should have to live with in order to be bearded and proud.
Roughneck Beard Company uses locally sourced, as often as possible, 100% all natural and organic ingredients combined with a fine-tuned balance of science and art to pack the most beard benefit into each of their premium products. Roughneck Beard Company are facial hair professionals. They know beards and mustaches inside and out, and they offer that knowledge to you via these products, in hopes that every beard and beard-to-be will find the tools for the job readily available.
You can go find Roughneck at roughneckbeardcompany.com
and put in promo code Paycheck15 to save 15% off of your order.
Growth in all things.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Johnny Paycheck coming at you from the Dirty Duval. It's a great day here in the Sunshine State, so I want to jump on and tell you to quit wasting time going to smoke shops and jiffy stores to get your smoking materials. Enjoy your day and have that shit sent right to your house. Keep it simple, stoner. Stop spending all your De Niro, Scratch, Skrilla, whatever you call it, on all that shit too, and go to dollarblazeclub.com and use promo code CWPR25 and get 25% off. That's the highest discount you'll see anywhere. And if there's one thing the Red knows, it's how high. Timbo!
What's up, party people? This is Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
An inappropriate comedy podcast.
Have you ever taken a photo of your own butthole?
Do you enjoy the smell of hot dog water?
Do you have random conversations about dildos?
Well, this is the podcast for you.
Just two good old boys who have no holds barred conversation.
All while laughing inappropriately.
Yep, that's right, listeners. Paycheck and Red have gotten themselves into another inappropriate conversation.
3, 2, 1. What's up, motherfuckers? Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us again. This is an inappropriate comedy podcast, and I'm Johnny Paycheck, and as always, I'm with my boy Red.
What's up, party people? This episode is brought to you by Red's Bong Rips. Keeping Clear Eyes in business since 420.
Inhale.
Ounce in the mail.
God, that sounds so hot. Oh my God, do it again. Oh my God, that sounds so... Alright, here we are. Another episode. This one's gonna be interesting, fun, sexy, hot, controversial. All those dirty words you guys talk about in the bathrooms and then around the water cooler, you dirty pervs. So we're just gonna fucking keep going with it, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna be super creepy and super pervy. So, Red, tell everybody what we're talking about today.
Man, we are talking about sending nudes. From the fella's perspective, of course.
Yeah, but this one's gonna be interesting because we have a guest in the studio with us to give us. I think that she walked into the lion's den, really. I mean, here we are, we're having an episode about nudes from a guy's perspective, and we got this crazy broad on with us. Is, you know, she's gonna check everything that we say. You watch, it's gonna be ridiculous. So, ready?
Yeah.
Introduce her and tell everybody who this is and all that good stuff.
This is Heather from the Zero Fucks Given podcast. What's up, Heather?
What up, what up, what up?
I love
the name of your podcast. Zero fucks given.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about either one of you, but I will definitely fucking give it to you like it is today. I hope that I could bring something to your podcast here. I mean, I give a fuck, but I don't give a fuck what you think about my opinion. Like at the end of the day, is kind of what it is, you know.
Yeah, it's the zero fucks given mentality.
Yeah.
Can we go ahead and get on the record that you will not be sending nudes during this episode?
Who?
I will not know. To you guys, no.
Okay, Reverend, strike that. Go ahead and scratch that out.
Okay.
On our notes.
Yeah. So our little research segment's not going to go as planned then, right?
Yeah. Just Frank. That was a negative. That was a no-go on the receiving end.
Tell Frank that he did not get my prior permission. He failed to do so.
So your idea of getting Heather to send us nudes within like a minute and a half is out of the question then.
Yeah.
Oh God, Jesus.
So
That's funny. I love that you thought that would be possible. Thank you. I am very sexual, and I have a very big sexual energy, and I like myself. I love myself. I like my tits. I like to, put myself out there. But my man gets all them fucking nudes.
Tits are nice. I like the way you said tits.
Titties. That's like when I say titties. That's like that means like fuck yeah, like that's awesome because that's what titties. Titties are awesome. Like, who can you argue with? You can't argue with me on that.
And I just want to go on record by saying that I'm glad that when I got older, they were called titties because boobies was a little awkward for me. You know what I mean?
Can I touch your boobie?
Yeah.
Boobies.
She had the nicest boobies.
So not cool to say boobies.
Yeah, I think you quit saying boobies when you're like 14, 15.
Like, what was your first boobie experience? Because I know, like, every young man, like, their first impression of a tit is, like, to just, like, squish it. Like, that's going to be, like, the thing, Like,
well, I'm disappointed in my first tit experience. If I knew then what I know now, I probably wouldn't have got as much tail as I've gotten because they would have been like, yeah, I can't fuck with him. This dude's a freak. He's a perv.
I don't think
he's over here bouncing my titties over right now.
I honestly don't think.
Yeah. You stand there, you get your thumbs underneath them. You know what I mean? And you
like, I think it's so funny because it's like no way in hell is that ever pleasurable to a woman. I just think it's the funniest thing that men think that's like what they have to do is squish it or like it's like bounce it.
Yeah, but that ain't. Yeah, but that's not for y'all. That's not for example.
I know, but at 14, 15, like, come on.
Oh, it's inappropriate at that age.
Those kids are 14 and 15. They're not even settled yet.
When I was 18 years old, this hot little Latina chick, she was so hot. I was into like Hispanic chicks back in high school. And man, this girl, she had a sexy little Billy D. Williams, or not a Prince mustache. You know how them Hispanic chicks are.
Wait a minute, wait. Did you say a sexy Billy D. Williams mustache?
Yeah, but I fucked up. I meant a Prince. I said Prince. I corrected myself.
Does she have a mustache?
A little one, a little hot little Latin, but a little
like because he's so dark skinned and
yeah,
a little peach fuzz up there.
Yeah, it was hot. I can deal with the Prince mustache. I draw the line at the Billy D. Williams.
Like Prince still. Anyway, go ahead.
So she, we was kicking it for like maybe 2 weeks, and I was a hood hiker. I was a little wannabe thug back in the day. So all my money went to like guns and drugs and alcohol and condoms and that dumb shit. So I didn't get to, so whenever an opportunity presented itself, with me not having a ride, so we kicked it for about 2 weeks, and in that 2 week time period, I probably saw her 5 times. But I'm, even at that age, I was a sexual person, and I just like women. I like a woman's body. To me, a woman's body is beautiful. So I'm not just going to get in and get out and be like, oh man, that was awesome. I take time and I lick, kiss, suck, bite everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this chick broke up with me because I was a freak. Those were her exact words.
Did you like loved her body?
Yeah. So and at first I was
lost.
I wasn't hurt or anything like that because I was young and I was a player or whatever. But then when I finally thought about it, I was like, you know what? Out of all the reasons to be broke up with, I'm good without it. You know what I mean? So one day my kids are gonna be like, Dad, were you ever dumped? Yeah, but what happened was
Daddy was a freak, and that's okay.
Oh, Daddy was a pervert.
Funny.
Yeah. Well, let's all right. So let's stay on track here. So nudes. So when we talk about nudes, we have to start from the beginning. And in the beginning of nudes, all nudes are in today's society are paintings, J.C. Penney magazines. What was that? What was that little pamphlet magazine of the Ethiopians with their cucumber titties out? You know what I mean?
National Geographic.
Yeah. So
Cucumber titties?
yeah.
They were flopping ass tits.
Yeah, they was long, boy.
That's like back in the day. That's like where we thought, yeah.
Like a marble with a sock with marbles in it hanging down there.
I don't know about J.C. Penney's because I don't consider that a nude. That's just you and your
but
bra.
for a young boy seeing the panty section, you know, I've jerked off to many J.C. Penney lingerie sections.
Many.
My mom's like, what happened to these pages?
Why is the lingerie section stuck together?
Yeah. So why do you have a little piece of my magazine on the tip of your penis right now?
Well, why is your mom looking at your little penis is what I want to know.
Because I was a little kid, you know what I mean? When you take baths and, you know, the mom sees the little boy's penis until, I don't know, maybe he's 9 or 10, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, my son, I've seen his often. It's weird.
Really? And how old is he?
16.
See, it happens, right?
He's not careful. No.
Yeah.
He's not careful.
Yeah, but that's a good character trait, to be comfortable in his own skin and not give a fuck.
Yeah,
right?
like mostly it's just because his fucking underwear with dick hole fucking pops open and his fucking shit. I'm like, bro, your dick is showing, bro. Like, put on a fucking shirt. Maybe put some pants on, you motherfucker. Stop looking at my dick, mom.
That's the equivalent to my dad's dick flopping out of his little smoker's robe that he used to wear.
Yeah, it's like, bro, like nobody needs to see this shit, bro. Well, the other night I go in to check on him, you know, fucking make sure he's asleep. He's got like his gamer chair like in the way of like the door path and him. But I just see this motherfucker. I mean, I know what he's like. That shit was going like
well,
that. Arm
why
was,
even go in there?
Because I fucking went in. It was 11 o'clock and I saw a fucking light on and I was like, get the fuck to bed. You know, he's got school the next day.
Did
go
you
in.
bust in the door and be like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't fucking knock. No, I don't care if he's masturbating, but I just opened the door and I was like, put that shit away and fucking go to bed. It's time for bed. He's like, okay. And that motherfucker didn't skip a beat. He just kept going, I'm out. And then I shut the door. Like, he didn't even stop. I'm like, this guy has no fucking shame. Like, he
so
just...
you probably go in there and be like, look, I don't mind you masturbating, but we need to turn some lights off in here, okay? You do not
That's what I said. I've done that before. I'm like, okay, once you're done fucking whacking it, get the goddamn trash out. Like, this shit needs to be...
Who jerks off with the lights on?
No, it was like that blue glow from his phone because he's watching fucking Pornhub, streaming it or whatever the fuck, you know? He likes that anime cartoon shit. What the fuck is that about?
Yeah,
that's too weird.
Coming up on
so weird.
the porn sites that I've never been interested in that.
Is that the ones with the tentacles and all that shit?
The China fucking cartoon bitches.
Yeah.
What do they call that? Hentai or hente? Yeah,
hentai. Pokemon fucking porn. I don't fucking know.
Pokemon porn?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you gonna fucking masturbate to a goddamn cartoon?
All right, kids, let's stay on track here. Nudes. Okay, so so before there were nudes, I just want to make sure, you know, I want to start this off by saying that this is nothing new. People have been passing pornographic material, you know, for forever. You know what I mean?
Before you have to go get it developed. Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, and then everybody got to see them.
No, not
all
just the two guys working in the box.
Well,
you know, they took extra copies.
Yeah. Okay, you're not going to tell me. Yeah, you're not going to tell me if you work at a photo lab and you get a roll of film in and you develop that shit and it's got some nude pictures of a hot woman in it. You ain't going to make extra copies of that shit to take home with you and put in your literal spank bank at the house.
No, I'm going to jerk off right there in that little developing room. And then I'm going to put the picture in the fucking envelope.
Yeah, dude, they don't develop pictures in rooms at Walmart.
Yeah, bro.
It's a machine. It's out in the open.
I'm doing it too. I'm taking an extra copy. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So before that, there was paintings. You know what I mean? There's hieroglyphics they're finding in fucking pyramids of naked bitches and naked dudes.
Dude, I just read an article. Yeah, I just read an article last week about a cave somewhere in like Greece or somewhere, where on the wall of one of the back walls of the cave they found a carving or scraping hieroglyphic, whatever the fuck you want to call it, of a dick about that long, and they dated it, like 7,000 years or something.
Was it one of those ancient alien dicks?
No, it was the common two circles.
Humanity.
It was the common two circles with the little thing out by, little dick out by it. It was real crude,
Dick
but
and balls.
yeah, just a dick and balls.
Yeah. Dude, that was a
Giant
helicopter.
It was what?
It was a helicopter.
A helicopter.
UFO.
He's trying to visualize it.
What are you talking about?
All right, so listen. So the reason why this episode or this topic came up is because I get aggravated. Like, I'm an advocate for men. I'm an advocate for dads. You know what I mean? Because the men in general, not including the sub factors, the dad, the husband, and all that stuff, we get shitted on a lot. Like dick pics or sending nudes, for example. Mm-hmm. And if you did a poll, a majority of people, I assume, would say that, okay, yeah, guys are the creepy ones, they send dick pics. Unsolicited dick pics. And I know this is true because I've been in fitness a little bit, so I have friends in the fitness world, and they have hot, banging little bodies, banging little athletic, fit bodies. And, dude, they get, I know this girl, she sends me every now and then just the creepy shit immediately. No hi. No, how you doing? It's like, hey, nice tits, or you know what I mean. Let me see that pussy. So, and guys,
wow.
yes, okay. So, but
I like it.
Guys do that, but my whole take on this is that it's not one-sided. Like, females are just as grimy with the nudes and the clit pics and the tits and all that stuff, just as much as guys are.
Okay.
And I can prove this.
I'm excited for you to prove it.
Okay.
I think that we are just as nasty. We're sometimes more perverted than guys, but I'm just not sure about this whole picture sending thing.
Well, guys are a little more childish than women are. Women are classy, so most women are not gonna start off with a tit pic or whatever. But so I did some testing.
Right.
In my experience, I've recognized that I can get a strange female whom I've never met before, found them on social media, and within 45 minutes I can get a nude sent to me.
I'm excited.
So what happens is, and how you do this is, Red and I have talked about it before, but let's say I go to one of my acquaintances' Facebook page. So then, it's an acquaintance, so I don't really know them. I know them through social media. So I go to their friends list. So then I put a hot chick on this second party's friends list. So I reach out to them. Hey, I saw we have a mutual friend, and that strikes up the conversation. So you meet.
That's creepy as shit, dude.
Right. Listen, it is, but you have to understand that we live in different times right now. A majority of dating these days goes on or initiates through the internet, social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that shit. Matter of fact, you can weed out a lot of the wasted time that you would normally do on dating through the internet. Like if I go to your Facebook page and I see nothing but you holding 40s and blunts and bandanas and Cadillacs with rims on them, and you know what I mean, just the dirty, I can tell what kind of lifestyle you're living. You know what I mean? And I don't want any part of that. You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
So, here's I'm gonna read y'all a little something from this actually happened, and I'm gonna read you guys verbatim. I'm gonna save you the boring parts, but so this is within a 24-hour time period. Okay. So I reach out, I say, my message is yo, or it's just hey. I said, just wanted to say hi since we just became friends on Facebook. She says hello. I say LOL. She says, how are you, new friend? So she initiated that right there. To me, that's how are you, new friend?
That's the same conversation, or is that the next day or hours later?
No, all this is within a 24-hour time period. So I said, amazing, how are you? She said, great, now that I'm off work. I said, must be nice, I have a few more hours to go. She says, what do you do? I send her a picture of what I do for a living. And I told her that I gave her the whole thing about where we have a friend in common. I got to leave that part out because I don't want to drop any. I got to make sure I don't say any names or whatever.
Yeah.
So then she says, no, I live in this particular state. And then we both agree that we understand how we've got here through mutual friends. You know what I mean? So that part's established. So that takes out the creepy part. I'm not being sketchy. Like, I'm letting it know how this happened. You know what I mean? So they know that I found them on a mutual friend. You know what I mean? So everything's real. Everything's honest.
Right.
And I say that because that makes a big difference. That's
yeah, because you're not coming off as creepy at all.
Right. And listen, and what happens is, and the reason I did this is because a lot of people, they'll become friends with somebody on Facebook, and then it's like this creepy, them hiding out in the background. They'll like a picture or something like every now and then, you know what I mean? But so, anytime that I get a friend request, I like to reach out to them, like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Just a quick little conversation. That way, it don't have that creepy vibe to it. You know what I mean? So,
motherfucking notifications.
Turn this shit off, dude.
I just did. Relax. So, we say, okay, it all makes sense now. And then we have a few. Okay, so the mutual friend and I found something that all three of us, or all four of us, all four parties have something in common, and it's white women. I can't tell you the context, but the common denominator between all these people is the words white woman or white women. So let's see. So I talk about his tastes, and we start talking about people's taste or whatever. So so immediately she starts talking about she looked through my profile. Her, you know, so when you first have a friend on Facebook or whatever,
you're gonna click on their shit and see what they're about.
Yeah, we stalk their shit. So that's where it all went in the direction that we're talking about right now.
So it went south from that particular comment.
I prefer to call it going north. You know, to be honest with you.
It's going up. It's going up.
I think things is going pretty good at this moment.
Things are going up. The right direction. Oh fuck.
So I asked her, "Are you stalking my page?" You know, LOL. She's like, "You know, I had to take a look."
And like what I see.
Yeah, and then I joke. I said I did the same. LOL. And then she says, "I'm sure." LOL. And I say, typical guy, right? She says, just a smart one. You know, there's some people out there that con everyone with fake photos. I said, I complimented on her on a few of her features, not sexual features. You know what I mean, like eyes, and you know, she's a good-looking woman. So I mean,
definitely had nice tits, but you know, you wanted to say about the eyes.
Yeah. So
get them notifications fixed, man.
No, that wasn't me. That was somebody else. He's gonna act like he didn't even hear it.
I heard it. It wasn't me.
Frank, God damn it! Turn your fucking notifications up.
Yeah, right. You're supposed to be a professional, Frank.
So when she's talking about fake photos and everything, I joked and told her that, you know, well, I see a lot of your photos have a shit ton of damn filters on them. So I clowned her a little bit, just trying, you know, I want to make sure she knows that I'm the cool one here. You know what I mean? I'm not sweating you like that. I'll clown you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Can we get to the nudes, please?
Yeah. So this is
way longer than 45 seconds, but keep going.
Yeah. It was 45 minutes.
Oh, 45 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, damn, I'm not that good. 45 seconds? That'd be like, hey,
legit how fast the fucking dick pic gets sent. So that's what I was thinking.
So immediately I asked her about her photos, and she sends this one. I know everybody can't see it, but that's what she looked. That's
hot.
Yeah.
Are those her real eyes?
Yeah, but she's in a tanning bed. That's why they look like that.
Okay. Hot. All right.
Yeah. So So we talk about the tan a bit. We talk about why her eyes look like that, and then we start talking about because she went through some of my photos, and I did a half-assed attempt at bodybuilding at one time. And
did you let her know? Did you let her know that having her eyes open in a tanning bed is not good for her?
Yeah, right. I was surprised that she was in a stand-up one. And that threw me off. Most chicks do the lay down. As a dude who tans, sometimes I prefer the stand-up one because the laying down one makes me feel feminine. I wanna rub my clit.
First of all, you just said as a guy that tans sometimes. Literally just made my dick soft right now. Okay, keep going.
Listen, and I'm glad you brought that up. Listen, I'm glad you brought that up. Here's why.
I know you bodybuilding fucking pieces of shit. I know all of you. I fucking go to the gym every day too.
But listen, here the thing about the tanning bed is that I'm a country boy. I'm from South Georgia, so most of the time when I work in construction or whatever, red nose in the South and in construction.
You got a T-shirt fucking tan. I get it.
Right. Not only that, but so I got out of the shower one time and I was walking to get my towel across the bathroom, and I walked in front of the mirror, and I had the weirdest. I mean, I couldn't imagine some female seeing me naked like this, but I have a tan line of board shorts from my hip to my kneecaps. And then I got white ass feet. Everything else is dark as fuck. You know what I mean? Like it looked ridiculous.
It does.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't mind a farmer's tan. Like, let's say that I never take my shirt off, and or you know, just my arms or whatever. But I wear cut off shirts, so at any time I could have some weird ass. Red, you remember I was out on the bike, burnt my face, but I had my sunglasses on, so I had the raccoon eyes and all kind of dumb shit. So that's why some men, manly men like myself, who ride Harleys and fight and shoot guns and shit.
And go tanning. Got tanning memberships with my Harley. Roll up in my Harley.
Yeah, but I don't do the membership because I have issues.
Bitch, you know you got a punch card. I don't want to.
No, listen, I have to go in there. I have to drop however much it costs each time I go in there.
Okay.
Motherfucker said a punch card.
So if you had a membership, that would be gay.
Yeah, that's where
that's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I
don't want to be
whatever you got to tell yourself at the end of the day, bud.
Listen, I don't want to be meeting some beautiful woman at a bar or whatever, and I pull out my wallet, pay for her drink. You know, and my fucking tanning card falls out on the bar. You know what I mean?
She's like, oh my god, I go to the same line. We should totes go together. Oh my god.
And then I whisper in her ear that I don't want to tanning session, and I get the next month free.
That'll get her down.
Yeah.
You mean we gotta buy her a drink.
So, in closing, within 24 hours, the conversation led into fitness, which always leads into nudes.
So do you got any like progress pics we could maybe share?
Yeah, right. Yes.
Listen, I got them all. Listen, listen. I'm a woman, and I am very out there also, but I like to let them try. And my husband and I will laugh about it. It's fucking hilarious.
Well, let's see the motherfuckers. Let's see them.
What do you want?
No, his nudes. Where the fuck are they at?
Yeah, his nudes. I was like, yeah.
Listen to me. I'm a nice guy.
You don't kiss and tell, do you?
I would never.
All that build up for nothing.
Listen, I can't show you the damn nudes. I mean, how disrespectful would that be to this young lady? I'm not some ass.
Let me just. I get it, but I feel like. Are you still speaking with this woman?
No. It was one of those things where.
Alright, so show us the fucking nudes and stuff.
Right. Right. Who gives a fuck?
If she's not in your life right now and it's over, it's not a big deal. Listen, I'm not screenshotting this shit. I'm not taking it. It's literally a glimpse.
Yeah.
I would do it in person. I wouldn't technically, if you sent it to Red, that's disgraceful and disrespectful. But to show us on Skype right here with nobody else watching, I don't think it's
a good point. All right, so here's the first one.
Yeah, that's cute. I like those. I take those all the time too. That's a hot one.
Notice the back door. That's what I always look at. I look at that the trunk.
Yeah.
The trunk's in there.
Yeah, that's hot.
And then, she's real happy with the legs. She does not skip leg day.
She doesn't. You can see that nice fucking quadricep there with the fucking V taper.
Yeah, but listen, as a man who has been around the block a time or two. This is a trick right here that women do, and I appreciate and I respect. You know what I'm saying? A woman knows what time it is. She feels confident. She feels sexy, but all women have insecurities just like men do. So if you look closely at this picture, you can see, or you might be able to get an idea on what her insecurity may be.
It's probably the balls that she's hiding underneath that.
You know, that thought did cross my mind when I first saw the leg. I was like, wait a minute.
I think she's tucking a dick. She's tucking a dick.
Yeah, she's tucking, dude. She's tucking.
Okay,
Tucking
so
little motherfucker.
Yeah, I thought, you know, this, of course, the same thing, you know, that that could be possible.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
There's confirmation.
Got it.
Okay. So, again, within 24 hours.
Where's the nails? I want to see. Was the nails on the other picture? Because I want to see that. Because you can pull that up.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, dude, you gotta prove that you could have pulled that from anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so where's her nails in the coat picture? Let's see the nails. Let's see it.
It's gonna be hard because digital.
Okay. Okay. But so I can't tell, but what is your opinion?
Yeah, that's.
Same nails?
Huh? Oh, the nails are definitely fake. Oh yeah, same.
No, same nails on the pussy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I did my research.
Frank. We're gonna have to have you fact check this, please.
Hey,
double fact checks, but
Frank, we blur the face. You know, if the face showed up in the photo at all. You know what I mean, for confidentiality reasons.
No, but that's what I was just thinking. Was like, okay, because honestly, that kind of picture, you can't tell whether it's the same hand or you could pull it anywhere. But if the nails are the same, then hey, that's fucking awesome.
That looks like a stock image from Bang Bus to me.
Yeah, listen, but you make a good point in that, and that's. Okay, so with social media and dating and all the benefits, I mean, you don't have to waste gas anymore. You know what I'm saying? You could pretty much weed out a bunch of people, and you know what I mean. It's very helpful.
Right.
But just like the way life works, you can't have a left without a right. You can't have an up without a down. You can't have a good without a bad. And the same thing happens with internet dating, is that you might be getting what is being portrayed, and then you might not get what's being portrayed. So there's always that risk to, you know, the whole catfishing thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I just think especially with women, like, I mean, you are right. Women have their own insecurities or whatnot, but, yeah, I don't know. You just never know.
Well, let me just put a little disclaimer on what just happened. I did get permission to do this, and my wife was beside me while I was talking to this chick. And in the ending, what happened is that this is just one of those random conversations that you have with new friends on social media. You know how it is. You'll reach out and you'll communicate with somebody for about a week. You know, hey, how's things? Everything's good. You know, and it becomes a little relationship. But then we're all adults and we have lives, and they get crazy. And then, you know, you don't hear from them for a week or two, and then a month or two. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, there's just a like here and there on Facebook. You know what I mean? So this person is still, you know, like we're everything's respectful, and you know, I mean, everybody's good with the whole situation.
How can that be respectful? Within 24 hours, she's sending you pussy pictures.
Yeah, but well, see, that's where
that should let you know right there what kind of girl she is.
I'm like, wait, your wife? Because wow, your wife was chill with this. Like, she was like, whoa.
Well, yeah, it's because
Does she listen to the podcast? Is she gonna?
Yeah.
Frank needs to fact check that one.
Frank does. She doesn't get the notifications for these particular episodes. You know what I mean?
I'd be okay with it on the other end too, but like I'm trying to find this one, dude. Oh my god, it was the funniest shit. So people DM me all the fucking time. They slide on in, and I have a business, and I have a fucking podcast, and I have my personal one, so I get notifications for my personal shit all the time. And usually, depending on the amount of mutual friends or who they know, I'll accept it. But on my personal Instagram or whatever, I had this guy slide in, and he was like, hey, like, just talking about like how he thinks I'm beautiful, blah 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 blah, and then legit 2 seconds, I mean, not even, it hadn't even been a minute. I didn't even have a chance to reply. Boom, slides in an underwear picture with this fucking snake rolled the fuck down like his giant dick. And I'm like, bro, like, put your fuck, what the fuck is wrong with you? Did you not read my profile? It literally says married, 4 kids, motherfucker. And so then I start clowning. I'm like, that shit ain't even real, bro. You just put a cucumber in your pants. You fucking, you know. And he's like, you want to see the real one? And I'm like, dude, get the fuck, like, dude, just no, bro, no.
Come on, you didn't even want to see it to see if it was real?
I didn't want to see it. What I did was,
I'd be like, yeah, why not?
yeah, I sent it to my girls.
Yeah, why not?
They dissected it. It was fucking great. Let me see if I can pull it up and show you motherfuckers real quick. Because this shit was crazy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
All within a minute. That's nuts.
Dude, I'm
Literally.
not even joking. Like, if they're like, they're like, hi. They're like, they'll just say hi, and I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, thanks for the follow, blah blah blah. Assuming that they're interested in the podcast or my business or whatever, and then it goes right into boom.
Hey, real quick, look at my dick.
Yeah, like this is one.
Nice. He's fully aroused.
Just like whoa.
Is he wearing a cock ring?
How?
Or is that his fingers down at the base of it?
Are you the one?
That was, yeah. So like my friend Daisy, she was our other, you know, she was on whatever. So she'd constantly send it to us too. Anyways, if I ever get this shit, I usually just, you know, message it to them. It's just funny. I'm trying to find more. I'm sure I'll just keep scrolling and see tons.
Well,
it was this guy. So this is the guy that messaged me, and then this is all he had on his profile picture. That was it. Do you see these, like...
No.
You can just see the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Your blurred background messes it up.
Yeah, it's like a grid or
Is it
something.
blurred?
Yeah, the background is.
Try to put it in my face.
Yeah, there you go.
Nope, same thing.
Still, is it fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't mean to blur it. I forgot that it was even blurred. Unblur it.
Yeah.
So.
Look at him, got his shirt off, feeling all
So see this
confident.
fucking. Look at that, like the top one with the cucumber looking ass fucking
That's
bulge.
his profile?
This is all on his page, and I'm like, dude, you're not even real, first of all, and second of all, he's like, well, I'm really insecure, and like said something about his, like, all the women are just like put off by his dick.
Really?
And I'm all like, nobody feels sorry for you, bro. Like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
What was it like? I'm so sad.
Like,
You're
trying
"Oh,
to make me feel sorry for him for having such a huge dick.
Here, let me show you my tits.
Like, what did he expect? I can't fathom, like, what goes through his head. Like, oh, that's gonna get him. Like, oh, I'm so sorry you have such a huge dick. Maybe you could put it in my pussy. I don't know. Like, what do you expect? Like, what is he gonna say? This is
It's
me.
almost like, see, in reality, what it is that guys send a pic of their dick to be judged and humiliated. that's the general.
Have you heard about that? About dick humiliation?
No.
That's a legit a thing that men seek out from women.
What?
That they literally want them to be. They want them to talk shit about their tiny ass, fucking disgusting penis. That's the number one thing that males want.
But that's
Like,
that's probably successful men. That's the thing for a
private chat with camgirling. Like, that's their number one thing, is that they want to be humiliated and told they're disgusting.
But it's probably because they're rich and powerful people and they're used to everybody, you know, just giving them their way or whatever. So they like to be humiliated and, you know, get the other end of the spectrum.
This is another one that got sent. What do you think about this?
That was the first.
No, this is one of them that my girl got sent. This was like their first opening within a minute.
Jesus.
He's got a mean curve, don't it?
Bro, we call that one 6 degrees.
Yeah, looks like a merge. Looks like a
It's
merge
because
on.
He has 6 degrees in like different things because he's really a professional or something. But I'm like, dude, your dick is 6 degrees. That's some weird shit.
That way.
But listen, guys are proud of their dicks. You know, especially when you're fresh out of the shower, you got your nice little manscape thing going on.
I'll hide this name. This one's weird too. Look at this one. Can you see it? So hope your hand is giant, because that's just weird.
Yeah, see, and that's why I don't send dick pics. That's what what you're doing right now. That's what I imagine chicks doing when dudes send dick pics.
Bro.
I've talked to enough females to know that when you send a dick pic, they're showing all their friends and they're talking about you. They're laughing at you.
Angles, disgusting. It's just never happened.
Yeah, it's all about the angle. You gotta get the angle right.
This one.
Well, he's got tits.
Load him. Bro, wrong angle, first of all. I just can't. You have no clue what it's like.
You have way too many dicks on your phone.
This is what I'm saying. I know, right? But like, it's just like, this is just, you can have I'm married. Legit, on my profile it says married, 4 kids. Like, it's not hidden.
Does your husband
try to deny it?
Those pictures of dicks on your phone?
He knows. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily like it, but he knows it happens, and it's mainly a lot of them are from the friends, and so we'll just throw them back and forth. But
yeah,
I mean,
do you have a library folder called?
I don't have a library folder called dick pics, but we did ask for dick pics, like one of our first episodes or second episodes, and we said we would judge them or whatever. Well, we got quite a few, and so we were rating them. And so he did have a moment of, fuck this shit. Like, if you guys are gonna fucking rate a dick, you're gonna rape my motherfucking dick. So he gets a fucking, I'm like, all right, well, like, we'll rate your dick. So I get the camera out and I fucking pull his dick up and fucking throw some pictures out there, and then I tell the girls to rate it. And yeah, anyways, he got a 9. And he got the best score of everybody.
Yeah, but did they know that it was his?
No, but that's why they started calling him Niner. If you ever listen to our podcast, they'll be like Niner, because he's, yeah. Anyways, he got a 9. Most people were getting 7s, 6.5, 5s.
So that, Red, I hope you're taking notes. Chicks do judge your penis.
Of course they do.
Have you ever sent a nude?
What?
Me? Red?
Me?
Sent a nude?
Yeah, of course.
To who?
A lot of people.
You guy friends?
Yeah.
So Paycheck's married, and Red, you're not married?
Yes, I am. I've been married 19 years.
You said nudes too, motherfucker.
Man, this is back in the day.
Yeah,
Back in the day.
Yeah, but yeah,
how, 19 years, bro.
Yeah, don't let them fool you. They've been together for a long time.
Yeah.
How did you get nudes before?
He did. He's lying.
I mean, I ain't always been a nice guy, Heather. I've not always been a nice guy.
So she knows about these moments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you can go through, more power to you. No judging. No judging.
As we speak.
Oh.
Yeah, he is actually on probation.
No.
So she forgave you.
No.
My man is skating on thin ice right now.
No.
So we only got like 15 minutes left because she's sitting outside the door.
No.
Fucking bitch.
No.
Look with the time.
No.
Let me see.
Not at all like that. No.
Give me your passcodes, motherfucker.
No.
But see, like, I deal with that shit too. My husband's more insecure and all that. So it's like,
do y'all go through each other's phones?
I mean, he has access to it anytime he wants it. Yes.
Yeah, that's the rule.
He doesn't go through it, but if he wants to, he will. Yeah. And if he ever brings some shit up, I just chuck my fucking phone at him and leave the fucking room.
Yeah, we have this thing where we don't
figure it out. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
We don't go through each other's phones, but at any given moment, if someone feels that it's necessary,
right,
we'll exchange phones.
Yeah.
But like I tell people, you know, if you have to worry about shit like that, you know, if you're gonna cheat, you got to be a good cheater. You know, and we're gonna do an episode. I don't know this yet, but it's about cheating and the art of cheating. And a good example, and just a little tidbit of that, is a cell phone. If you always have that fucking cell phone with you in your hand, if you just get up to go take a piss, you take your phone with you. If you get up, you know, to go do this or you put your phone down and it's face down, these are all signs. You know what I mean? That you're giving away. You know,
really?
So I've always said,
I think that I like to put my face down because I have an issue with, if I see the light, I have I want to check it.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm talking about in general. Those are one of the signs of a guy that's cheating. So, you know, you have to, like I said, if you're gonna cheat, you gotta be a good cheat. I had to have this conversation with a very close person to me. They're young, and you know, he was getting caught, and you know, and all this dumb shit, and I had to pull him to the side and like, listen, you're not doing this right, friend. You know what I mean? You're gonna get your whole world fucked up.
So you're a whole fucking, like, you just know the rules, man. So so what is this? So what does this mean?
I've always
If
been.
you could, you have.
Always. I've never been faithful to one woman, except for my wife. Right.
except for
Except for.
you, honey. I love you.
But listen, it's because it's because she sexually satisfies me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a desire, I don't have a want, I don't have a need, you know, to go outside.
Well, see, and that's the thing is that women usually cheat because of their emotional needs, not because of their sexual needs.
Yeah, now that's a good point in that I would not leave my wife if she broke up with me during a lustful experience. But if there was love involved and relationships and shit like that involved, then there would be a problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I put a thing up on my thing the other day, and it was, do you consider if your wife was to be, or if your a significant other was to be with a woman behind your back, do you still consider that cheating?
Yeah.
Being rammed.
Same concept. If love was involved, there's an issue.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a little different than, like, I don't follow society's rules, and sex is natural and normal, and to me it's a good thing. It's always been a big part of my life. It's always been a positive thing in my life. And society says that you have to be monogamous and you have to get married and you have to only make love to that woman for the rest of your life. And traditionally, okay, but you know, that's not the only way. You know what I mean? Like there's I could tell you stories of many successful relationships where there is a third party involved. You know what I mean? But it comes down to the man and the woman communicating and knowing the desires of each one and coming up with a solution if a problem, you know, arises. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My wife's not dumb. You know what I'm saying? She knows what time it is. She's old school, and she knows that what she don't do at the house, somebody will do outside the house. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's another, you know, episode, you know, that I'd like to get into is, you know.
I agree. I think sex is huge. It's huge, and it's very important in a relationship.
The art of cheating.
Relationship. Huh?
I said the art of cheating.
Yeah, well, cheating. But listen, cheating is, you know, it's different when you cheat as a young man and you cheat as an adult. It's two completely different games, and I'm always gonna call it a game. I have that conversation with friends. I have that conversation with my daughters. This dating thing, it's a game. You just have to know how to play it to your benefit.
It is a game. I agree.
So people
get caught up in it.
Yeah, you have to purposely, like, still right now with me being married, I'll kick the door in and start an argument just off GP. Just to rock shit around here. You know what I'm saying? Create some excitement in here. You know what I mean? Let her know that, look, your man is home, girl. Where's my sandwich? Where's my sweet tea?
Motherfucker.
Yeah,
get
but listen.
fucking in your fucking life.
Yeah, but listen. But that's a conversation that needs to be had about. She knows me, so she knows that that's me being playful. You know what I mean?
Whatever floats your boat, yeah. But you probably get a fucking throw punch real quick from me. Fucking say some shit like that to me.
Really?
No.
Like even in a joking, like your man's never said, "Hey, go make me a sandwich."
If he busted open the fucking door and said, "Make me a sandwich," I'd be like, he'd get a swift kick to the fucking nuts, bitch. What?
Well, a man shouldn't have to ask where his sandwich is.
I'll make that.
That motherfucker be sitting on the table when you walk in the damn door.
Most of the time, dinner's already on the fucking. It's already being made, bitch. You don't even have to ask. That shit's just coming. That's how it is. But if he says some shit to me, like, listen, I like to have my house clean. I like to try to, like, make him happy when he gets home. He worked all day. I want him to come home and chill, not to worry about some shit. You know, I like to definitely take his ass as soon as he gets home. That's our thing. And then, you know, later on that evening as well. But, like, you know, yeah, you have to keep him going. But I don't know. If he said some shit like that to me, it would be different. But he don't have to. He doesn't say it.
You send him nudes throughout the day?
Oh, yeah. I get him all riled up.
Is he a boob guy?
Yeah, he likes whatever. He likes ass. He likes tits. He likes to watch me, like, come. So, like, when I'm masturbating, I'll show him, like, videos of me getting off.
That's the part that
gets him ready.
Yeah, that right there is the part that a lot of these fuckboys, a friend of mine calls them fuckboys, it's kind of weird, but I'm going to go ahead and use that, is that they don't know what time it is, man. They don't know how to treat a woman sexually, you know what I mean? They don't, it's like what you just said about coming. That's my whole thing. I'm more of a pleaser. I'm going to get pleased in the end. I'm a dude, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know.
That's our rule, though. That's his thing. He gets off on that part.
Yeah.
And that's what he does 2 or 3 times before he even like inserts, and before he even gets into me. I'm already gone 3 or 4 times.
Oh, you can go multiple times like that?
Oh yeah.
That's being a grown ass woman and knowing your body.
Masturbation is key, bitch. Every bitch needs to masturbate. It's fucking important.
Well, a lot of guys joke about having an 18-year-old virgin. I wouldn't pay for a fucking virgin. You know what I mean? They don't know nothing. It's completely different.
They're gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah. You want to put that where? Like, oh, wait a minute, what is this? What's going on?
I mean, just put it in an asshole already. Like, I think those are the people that just want anal sex. They want to give anal sex.
Well, I've had that conversation about you never ask if you can stick it in her ass. You never ask for a blowjob. And I years ago, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he suggested I was a ladies' man, and he was asking me a bunch of weird questions, and getting a blowjob was one of them. And we talked about it. I said, dude, you don't ask. I said, you put it on her bottom lip, and she's either going to take it or she's not going to take it. You know what I mean? It's that simple. You don't want to stop what you're doing, like, hey,
bro, I swear to God, that's not what you do. Is this motherfucker for real?
Yeah.
You would get, I would fuck you up like you would.
If that happened,
fuck you up. I would chew your ass up and fucking spit you out. I can't even fuck you.
You would either take it or you would give him the cheek. Like, it'd bang off your cheek a little bit.
I'd take his ass and say, bitch, you better come back in an hour with a fucking different attitude.
You would not. Not in the heat of the moment.
Hell no. Because but see, that motherfucker gets his dick sucked almost every single time we have sex. Like, that's just
but
me.
Did he ask for it?
Never.
That's my point.
I give it.
Yeah, you never ask.
If we're at a party, we're at a dinner party or something, and I'm like, I'll take his ass in the bathroom, fucking suck him off, fucking we'll go back to the dinner. That's what we do. But that's not everybody. But that's just, he doesn't ever have to ask for it. It just happened. And if he did, but see, that's what I like. I like doing that. But if he ever said some shit to me, like, there's just no way. If you put that shit on my bottom lip, I'll fuck you up in the next week. Fuck you.
No,
men do not listen to this motherfucker. No. We'll just pull that motherfucker out when she wants it.
Fellas, your boy Paycheck wouldn't steer you wrong.
No.
Your boy wouldn't steer you wrong.
Prepare to get your dick slapped, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm into that. I don't mind that. You know what I mean? Slap it around a little bit. That's cool.
Punch that motherfucker. Shit would be fucking tucked for a couple days.
But listen, it's this. You have to have that same mentality. Take the front door kiss for an example. Red and I were talking about this in a previous episode, but if you know how to read people, if you're a people person, you know how to read women, you're gonna know before you even get to that fucking door if there's even a chance or a possibility of a kiss. So when you see these movies and you see a guy going in for a kiss and she doesn't reciprocate, that's like the dumbest shit to me. So imagine there's some dudes that are really going up. They didn't read one fucking sign. You know what I mean? Just oblivious to what's going on that fucking date. So at the end, because it's tradition and he watched a bunch of fucking movies and shit, he goes in for the kiss and gets denied. That never happens. Not in real life, because if you know the signs, you know damn well when you get up to that fucking door if you're gonna get a kiss or not.
Yeah.
Right? Shit, I'm kissing in the car.
Yeah, I definitely think body language is a big deal, and I think kissing on the first day is super important, because if you don't mesh well in a kiss, like, what's the point of the second? And that's just you can feel that chemistry on the lips, period. I think that's just how that works. Yeah, I agree. If you can't kiss,
yeah, it's a wrap for me.
But I mean, if you go to walk her to the door and then you just lay that dick on her bottom lip, I mean, I don't think that would be appropriate.
Well, that actually, listen, dating etiquette suggests that rule number 1 of dating etiquette is never show up to a date with your dick out. That's rule number 1.
It's so true. So, like, most motherfuckers know what your dick looks like before you even go on a first date, and that's what the sad thing is, I think.
No, that's not a sad thing. That's a good thing. That's one of the pros about internet dating.
it should be Christmas. That shit should be like pulled out when that bitch is ready. It's a fucking Christmas present all wrapped up in your pinks. Should be what it's about. It's about the excitement and the joy, not just like, hey, look what you're gonna get later.
Hey, look at my dick.
Look at my fucking biggest point over there at your mama. Like, it's all fucking crooked and shit. Dude, looking like the broke neck lady. This fucking, these dicks, dude.
My balls make my dick look big.
Yeah, shit like that. Like, just stupid shit. I just can't even imagine.
I know, but listen, in today's society, you are dating, best case scenario I'm talking about, you know, like when shit's going the way it's supposed to in modern times via the internet, is that you're going to date for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks before you actually, you know, like go out on a real deal date. Because, you know,
it's going to be like a relationship?
Well, it's a gradual thing. Like, you kick it on social media a little bit, you know, and then gradually it turns into a daily good morning. And that's a sign right there. When you get a good morning every morning, shit's serious right now. You need to either hit the brakes or hit the accelerator. You know what I'm saying? But you got to do something.
All right. So you have a daughter, I know, right?
I have 3 of them.
Okay. So like, do you want them to be with a guy, like, you feel like you're a genuine, like, dude? Like, I mean, I think you're a cool guy. Like, I'm not trying to down you or anything, but like, if these are your expectations, like, what do you want that for your daughter? Like, this is the dating world she's rolling up in. Right. What do you do? What do you say to her?
Well, here's the thing: is that, and I'm going to be super cautious on how I say this.
Yeah.
Things happen to you when you're young, and they could affect you sexually, mentally. Even physically sometimes.
I agree.
So I've never went to counseling, or, you know, I've been through some dark days, but I've never been through counseling because I'm self-aware and I self-evaluate. Mm-hmm. So I know what my issues are. I know why my sexuality is the way it is. I know why my, you know, all my shortcomings. I know why I have those shortcomings because I self-evaluate and I'm self-aware. So I'm aware that the way I am sexually is due to unforeseen circumstances.
Right.
My daughter's, on the other hand, not so much. So her view of sex, and, you know, whether sex is big in her life or it is not. That's really the black and white that we're talking about here. Some people, sex isn't a big deal in their life, and it's, you know, it's no big deal, whatever. Others, it's a big part. They watch porn, you know, they have sex on a daily basis, you know what I mean? So to answer, I
think we're all sexual creatures, but
yeah, but
answer my question.
Hers is going to be a little more natural. You know what I mean? She's 17.
More innocent.
Yeah, because I'm a firm believer in, you know, not allowing your kids to be in a situation where she could get pregnant, where she could have sex.
So how do you prevent that? Like, do you just, because you talk?
Dude, you can't be with her 24/7.
Because you talk. I mean, if you talk to her and she knows.
Yes. So real quick story. My firstborn, my daughter, she was, while she was a little baby, and all before, when I thought I knew what a man was and knew what a father was, I said, my chest is going to be bowed out. My daughter's not going to do this, and my daughter's not going to do that. She's not going to date till she's 30. Typical man shit. But the truth is that shit's going to go down, and not only is it going to happen, but your wife or the mother of that child is going to be aware of it, and it's going to be, you're going to be the only one in the situation that's in the dark. So luckily I found that out very early, and my daughter got in. She was 6 maybe, and her mother came to me one day and said, "Hey, Chloe likes this boy," or whatever. But she was scared to tell me. That broke my heart. Just those words that she's scared to tell me, that broke my heart. So I knew right then that, okay, either I'm going to have a real relationship with my daughters, or I'm going to be a somewhat typical dad and let the mom deal with the daughter and not be involved. You know what I mean? That happens all so often.
All the time.
Yeah, so I nudged her. I went in there and I sat with her, and I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. I didn't want to turn it into something. But so I just nudged her, and I was like, "Hey, is there any cute boys in your class?" And she looked at me like, "No, sir, of course not. What are you talking about?" But I was like, you know, it's cool, you know. And from that point on, you know, I went and picked her up. I left work early and went and picked her up from school on her first big heartbreak. She called me. When she got her first kiss, she called me immediately, right after, you know what I'm saying? So
that's awesome.
But to answer your question, that's how I get away with, you know, or that's how I feel I can sleep at night knowing that I'm a creep and I'm not passing that on to my kids.
Yeah, but you like talked about it, that door's open. I can appreciate that. I think that's what it's about, is just being able to talk. And I think a lot of a lot of reasons that there are good girls and bad girls are daddy issues, and I'm a huge advocate for that. I think that if your dad's involved in your life, you're gonna be a little bit less of a fucking slut whore. You know what I'm saying? I just really feel that way. I did have fucking hella daddy issues. So like I know where my background came from, but yeah, I just think it's important. So I was just curious.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome that you talked to her about it and shit.
Yeah, we talk about periods. We talk about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but they don't
Fuck
like
all
it.
that.
Yeah.
Oh no, they don't like it.
No.
My kids are. I'm very like how I am on my pod, like, and how open I am about talking. And this is just legit who I am. It's not. I'm not a. This isn't a show here. It's just not a facade. My kids hear about sex and all this other shit before, and drugs and everything that you want to talk about before. They hear that shit from me first, you know.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to be involved. My dad told me once that it was him and my mom trying to tell me the truth about life, and everybody else outside that house trying to tell me something different.
Well, see, my parents were like, just don't. That was all it was. Just don't. You just don't do drugs. You just don't have sex. That's it. And that was it. It was just the conversation.
So you didn't grow up and having sex and doing drugs?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, so that didn't work.
Because that didn't work. That's not the... That don't work, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Just like I said, you can't be with them 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right, but what you can do is like my kids know what would happen if you get pregnant in high school.
Absolutely.
There's enough TV shows out there. There's enough. They see it enough. You know what I mean? And I tell her this is the difference between working at McDonald's and owning a company. You getting pregnant. I mean, of course you can get pregnant in high school and still end up being successful and everything. But statistically speaking,
yeah,
you know,
that's a huge choice for such a young child to have to make. It's huge. Whether you abort, whether you give it away for adoption, or whether you decide to raise it yourself. Regardless, that's all psychological shit. All of it. All of it's gonna fuck with you one way or the other.
Yeah. Now I know that my daughter's kissing on boys, and you know I know that you know they're getting older, so I know that these things are gonna happen. And to be honest with you, I don't really give a shit. I'm fortunate that I have daughters, so nobody's taking my grandbabies. If you have a son and he gets somebody pregnant, that's your grandbaby, and you may not see that grandbaby ever.
Yep.
Right. See, and with my son, he's 16, and then we've kind of like helped raise his best friend, and his best friend has a girlfriend, and you know, I've talked to them. I'm like, hey, listen, like, if she doesn't have anybody she can go to, like, I'm here, like, I'll take her to the fucking clinic, we'll get her some birth control, blah, blah, blah. But my son, I kind of like, you know, I tell him all the time, like, ultimately it's the woman's choice. Like, if she wants to, you know, whatever she chooses, you're going to support. And I just think that that's kind of how I feel about it. If she wants to keep it and raise it, it doesn't mean you need to be with her, but you are going to be responsible for it. You know, you made that choice to go fuck and do what you're going to do, so you're going to step up to the plate whether you're with her or not. I don't want him to feel like he has to be with her to be, you know, because he's got a kid with her. But if she decides to keep that child, you're going to help support it.
Well,
and you're going to see it.
Well, as an advocate for dads, I disagree with only one thing that you said, and that's that it's her body, it's her choice.
Yeah.
I listen. I agree with that to a certain extent, and this is coming from a guy who has 3 daughters. But being an advocate for a dad, I think it's I'll use the word just weird, that a person thinks that the dad has no opinion or, you know, anything about, that's his baby in there. You know what I mean? So I think the man needs to be. I went to every doctor's visit. I went to breastfeeding classes. I went to Lamaze classes. I went to every single doctor's appointment for all 3 of my kids. I was there for all 3 of their births. I was there to clean up, you know, do all the dad shit.
We get it. You're a good dad. We get it.
Yeah, so you had a great mother, I'm assuming, right?
No. Listen.
No.
Okay. And the reason I say this, Red, I'm not looking on for a pat on the back, but I'm trying to educate men on the reason I have a son. Now I'm going through some shit with them because they're at the teenage years, but in general,
that's not normal though. That's not normal.
What,
Paycheck.
17-year-old teenage stuff?
No, that you went to all of it. That's not a normal thing.
Yes. Okay. So here's what happened is that before I had kids, my ex-wife, she was pregnant. So I was worried. So I talked to my dad about, you know, being a dad. I talked to men who that I knew that were dads. And I got a lot of input on being a dad and being a man, and then I was having a conversation with a guy, and he made a statement, and I had an opinion about it, and he was a little offended that I would even have an opinion, because what do I know? I don't have kids. And at first I was like, yeah, you're right, I get it. But then I thought, well, I have a dad, I have parents. And I realized that, my parents did things that I'll definitely pass on, and that the whole family values and morals thing. But my parents also did some shit that, I'd never do to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, if my kids ever came to me with a drug problem, I'd hug them, you know what I mean? And tell them, okay, well, we both now have a drug problem. I'm with you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, when you say, well, you can't be with them 24 hours, you can, and that's in their mind.
Of course, but I'm saying you can't be there to watch them and dictate what they do 24 hours.
That's creepy. Dude, that's creepy. Why would you bring that up, Red? That was inappropriate.
What?
No, I get what you're saying. Like the 24-hour thing, like you can't, but that's why you communicate. That's why you fucking leave all them doors open. As soon as you say don't do it, that just shut a door. That's all it did. It doesn't mean that you're like, you say this, and I tell my kids, drugs feel amazing. That's why people get fucking hooked. It's a euphoric feeling. No, I was on meth for a while when I was in my teens, and I said, I'm telling you right now, it's the best drug. I loved it. Loved every fucking... I mean, obviously, it fucking ruined a lot of shit for me, but when you are willing to give away your family and all these other things, that's what you end up doing, because it feels so fucking good, and that's what I try to explain to them. I said, it's not about that you're going to do it and feel like immediate. You're just addicted because it feels good. Sex, it feels amazing. But you have to be cautious about it. There's always consequences to every action. Just be smart about it, and if you're gonna want to try drugs or you're gonna want to do some shit, just stick to fucking natural shit. Like smoke some weed, know how many beers you're gonna drink at a party, keep your fucking limits down. You can have we have jobs and we can party on the weekends too. I go to the bars and have fun, but I still have my 9-to-5 shit that I make sure provide for my family. It's all about a balance. Same with sex. I mean, kids are gonna fuck, like, it's out there, it's everywhere. But just be smart about it, like take care of your shit. Make sure you're being cautious. And I think that as long as you have those open lines of communication, I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, well,
and I think it sounds like you do.
Well, I teach them that I hit this weird thing like in my 30s, I think it was. So I'm going on, quite a long time about, and this is how Red and I end up going through so many different rabbit holes. But like, I'm a spiritual guy, like I'm a deep guy. I'm a truck driver, so I don't listen to the radio a lot while I'm riding, because I get caught up in life, thoughts about life and shit like that. So in the grand scheme of things, to just make it super short, is that we are beings of light. You know what I mean? And light has to have electricity, a form of electricity to power that light. So, as you're going through life, your light is the most important thing. Your light, not your kids' light, not your friends' lights, your light. Mm-hmm. So the electricity and the shit that you feed that light is super important. So I make sure to tell my kids you concentrate on that fucking light. Because there's going to be all kind of shady motherfuckers trying to cover up that light, and none of them are going to be real. And I tell them, and this is why I get aggravated that I have the relationship that I'm going through right now with my teenage daughters, is that I'm telling you some real shit here. Nobody's going to love you like I love you. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to say they do, and they're going to buy you things, and they're going to touch you in ways, and they're going to do everything that they can to make you love them a certain way, and you're never going to find what I'm giving you right now. So what I'm telling you is the real deal. And Heather, I'm a OG. You know what I'm saying? I lived the street lifestyle. I've done some dirty, grimy shit, but I'm also book smart. You know what I'm saying? So I have the best of both worlds. I can survive in corporate America. I can survive on a construction job. You know what I'm saying? So I make those resources available for my fucking kids, and they don't fucking get it, and it aggravates the shit out of me.
They will, though. They will.
When it's too late, and what I mean by too late is that I know my kids are good kids. I know that they make the right decisions, because I have good kids, student athletes. They work. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But it's the social part of it. You know what I mean? So I worry that, okay, so I'm going to back off and let them live their life because that's what my parents did. And I'm going to miss a good 10-year gap. It's from let's say from, you know how it is in your 20s, you're buck wild, wide open. Stripping, selling dope, you know what I mean? You got your little Chick-fil-A legit job on the side, you know what I mean? You're sleeping over here at this girlfriend's house and you getting fucked up all night. And listen, this is the lifestyle I lived. I grew up in the hood, but in that hood was it was like a revolving door of chicks, strippers, you know what I mean? Pillheads, all kind of different walks of hippies, you know what I mean? And now that I'm a dad, I think back to all those times, and I remember thinking back then, even as a young man in my, 17, 18, is, why are you out here? Where's your mom at? Where's your dad at? How is it that a female that looks like you is hanging out with all these niggas? And I say that, you know what I mean? I was in the hood, all these dudes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how are you here? Why are you here? Where's your mom? Where's your dad at? So that's what I think about, and that's the conversations that I have with my ex-wife, is that I need to know where my kids are at all times.
Yeah, and be cool about it. But no, where the fuck they're at.
Well, the thing is that from the age of 1 to 17, you have control. And you have to hold on to that control. Because it's during that time period that you get to see them the most, love on them the most, communicate with them the most, talk to them the most. Because once they hit 18, you can only pray if you're a God-fearing man.
But you did enough.
Well, and not just that, but pray that she'll call you next week. You're hoping for a visit, you know what I mean, a phone call. Because I remember when I was 20 to 30, I rarely saw my parents. We had one day, thankfully, and this is what makes my parents good parents, is that every Sunday, from as long as I can remember, we had steak dinner at the house. So it didn't matter who I was robbing, what kind of drugs I was doing, who I was fucking, whether if I was drawed up from all the drugs and partying, or I was, going through, I was fat or whatever. They always got to see me.
Yeah.
And they could see me, and they could tell the story about, okay, well, he looks like he's put on some weight. He's happy right now. He's living a good life right now.
Yeah.
And then a couple months later, I come over, I'm all drawed up. I need to borrow about 5.
He's on meth.
2 cigarettes from my Dukes. let me hold 2 cigarettes, my Dukes.
Fuck. Yeah.
But see, that's what makes this podcast interesting. And Rez brought all this out of me. I was a quiet dude when we first started.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not, he used to didn't say a fucking word.
He never shuts the fuck up.
No.
I like it.
Over some words.
You would do what?
I will fight you.
Fight you.
Some words.
Oh yeah.
But it's because I'm passionate about life. I
agree.
About being a man.
I love it all.
Do you know that the type of man I am is offensive in today's society?
I mean, you offend me every fucking time you open your mouth, but
yeah, that's because I'm dirty.
Nobody can really offend me. I agree with the whole light thing. I think that spirituality is a big thing, and I tell my kids too. I said at the end of the day, all that matters, you have to be your own happiness. You fucking relying on me to make you happy or somebody else to make you happy, it's impossible. It'll never happen. You make yourself happy, and everybody around you will either pull from your happiness, or they're going to add to it. And you always want the people around that are going to add to your happiness. And that's all that I can teach them and ask for, But you can't necessarily shut out the people that aren't good for you. If you're a God-fearing man, you know that Jesus had 12 disciples, and none of them motherfuckers was his family. Yeah.
So that just tells you that just because they're family don't mean that they're good for you. But But
that's true.
I don't shun everybody that's not good for me away, because oftentimes we don't realize what kind of impact we have on other people's lives.
Yeah.
I've had dudes reach out to me to where they saw that there was a change in my life, and I'm halfway successful or whatever, and they reach out. You know what I'm saying? And I tell them, look, I'll tell them, you're doing too much drugs. If you got a bag of pot and you don't have any food, that's a problem. You need to reevaluate your priorities. You know what I mean?
Maybe weigh the shit out a little bit, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, but we're not in our 20s. Red and I have talked about this. There's been many times where I chose cigarettes over something to eat that night.
Yeah.
Or you know, I had $8. Either that was going in the fuel tank or I was buying some cigarettes. And I was like, fuck it, if I'm gonna be stuck at the house, I might as well have some cigarettes in this motherfucker too.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But you know, I've lived a crazy life, so you know, the whole talking thing. I like talking to people. I just like you to listen to me. I like people to listen to me.
That's not talking. That's not a conversation. That's just a one-sided conversation.
Right, and I'm aware of that. Red, not that often, and I'm working on it. That's one of my
like a fucking ping
shortcomings
pong
and
match,
you know,
bro. Like,
characteristics that I don't like about.
Let them hit it back, you know. Yeah.
And thanks for listening to Paycheck's Positivity Hour.
Yeah, it's good shit. I don't know, kids, shit scares me too. My kids are all, you know, growing up and getting older, and this is the world they're going into, fucking nudes and shit. My daughter actually had their principal call and said that my daughter was mixed up in with one of her friends that were sending nudes, and they're in middle school, so it's child pornography is how they consider it. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And she was like, well, it wasn't Jenna, her friend just did it. And I've talked to my daughter about all that shit too. Like, you can't, like, this shit is permanent. Just want you to know. You think it's not, but it is. And
I know my dick is on the internet somewhere. I'm pretty confident.
You're gonna show you something. You make sure your face ain't in it. That's all I have to say.
Yep.
But
see, I don't care. I wouldn't. That wouldn't bother. I wouldn't care about that.
I don't. What, for your kid?
No, for my kids, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, for your kids, it's like a, you know, that shit's.
He don't care. He don't care if his dick. He don't. Paycheck
Do I have what?
Paycheck doesn't care if his dick and his face is in the same picture. Is what he said.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an adult, and I hope that, you know, obviously at your age, I'd hope that, like, you know, you're confident, you know, whatever. You're doing what you're doing. You know the fucking consequences to your fucking actions. But a 17-year-old or 16-year-old, they don't have that mentality yet. They haven't lived that life yet, and especially they don't understand sometimes the repercussions to their fucking choices, and that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, and that's where parenting comes in that I can't parent my kids the way my parents parented me.
Totally different.
We're talking about two different societies right here. Mm-hmm. So internet dating and everybody's got a phone and all that. That's part of being a parent and explaining to them.
Half these kids don't even know how to have a fucking conversation. Like, that's the fucking weird thing.
Yeah, just because they put a nude on Snapchat and Snapchat deletes it after a few seconds doesn't mean it's not still out there.
No, because people can screenshot it or whatnot. But I'm telling you, like, even if they have like these things that they go to, like, to hang out, they're just sitting there. They're all sitting there on their phone. They literally text each other and they're next to each other.
Yeah.
And they're on the couch, like, motherfucker, like, put them down. Have a fucking conversation. Like, talk. It's the weirdest shit, dude.
We have moments to where we have to say, all right, enough with the phones. I took my whole family out one night to dinner. No. It was just my wife and I. It was on Valentine's Day. So we go and we sit down and we're talking and chopping it up, you know, just enjoying one another's company. And I look around the room and I kind of pan, 360, and no bullshit. I'm not exaggerating one bit. Everybody was on their phone. This is what I saw, and this was the wake up call. Couples were in there on Valentine's Day, and some of them were on their phone.
Yes. Kids
were there with, some parents that don't give a fuck about Valentine's. They were just out to eat with their family, you know what I mean? And I look and the whole family's on their fucking phones.
On their phones.
It was the weirdest thing to me. It was almost like it was a wake up call. Like, holy shit, look where we're at right now as a society.
Yeah.
So we have rules to where when I put my phone on charger at night, it's in the living room. There has to be a moment where you ever come across a family where you get out your phone and you take a photo of this beautiful moment that you're experiencing, but you don't experience it because you're over there fucking with your phone. You know what I mean? You could have experienced a beautiful moment and been in the moment, you know what I mean, and felt, the whole spirituality. And, there's times where if it just got done raining and there's a rainbow and there's some birds chirping and I see a squirrel run across the road, like, it does something to me on the inside. That's some positivity shit, you know what I mean? But if you got your phone out and like, oh my God, look how beautiful this scene is, and pull your phone out and go live and, whatever, like, it ruins it. And that's what's wrong with people, is that people don't have emotions anymore. You know what I mean? Everything's electronic, digital.
But yet you lure strange women into sending you nudes in an hour.
Yeah, as a testing experiment. You know, sometimes you gotta do
Oh,
shit.
complete.
Do shit for the fucking
Yeah, completely for research purposes.
Science.
Yeah, this is for mankind.
I
Okay,
agree.
I'm an advocate.
Oh shit.
Okay,
I love it.
and apparently that's all that's required for you to be an advocate is you just got to say, I'm an advocate. You don't need any kind of certifications or nothing.
You don't even need to fucking make a badge. You're just fucking. That's all. No, I agree. I hate that shit. I hate looking around. We see it too. We go out. I see it. That's my thing. Whenever I love my phone. Don't get me wrong. I'm always on that bitch, and I love taking pictures. I am a mom. I love to take pictures of all the little moments. But it's kind of our thing. We sit down at the table every night. We talk. That's what we do. That's our time. We're all busy. We all have fucking shit going on. But every night we sit down. We eat dinner. We talk about our fucking day, and that's kind of how we get together. But when we go out, same thing. Phones off, TV's off. We're in that moment.
Well, how old abroad are you?
37.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Were you offended by the way I asked that question?
Oh.
All right. 30. You said 32.
37.
37.
Yeah. I have 4 kids. I started when I was 20. I was young, so.
Yeah, but that's a decent age to have your first child.
No, it's not. It was horrible. It was fucking awful, but it was still way young. And now that I think back, I'm like, I made it work. Everything happens for a reason. But
I think 24, 25. I think that's a good age to have kids. At 25, you should be out of college, high school, whatever, and have.
Well, I would hope so.
You're out of high school at 25.
No.
Super fucking senior.
Right.
No, were y'all not paying attention? I said you'd go through high school and then you'd go through college, and then there'd be that little gap between starting a career and getting some experience.
Yeah, I didn't get to college. I got pregnant instead. That's what happens when you like to fuck. You just get pregnant. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have boy, girl. It's pretty tight. I like my family. Same kids, all by the same dad. It's, but it's just,
that's convenient.
Yeah, dude.
Having just one baby's daddy to deal with.
Yeah, I'm proud of that. When I look around, sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's something to be proud of.
I can't imagine dealing with another crazy-ass woman.
Right. We're all a little crazy.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that all my kids are by one woman.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the one you're married to now, or no?
No, I had to leave that bitch. She was crazy. but I met her as a boy and grew into a man.
Yeah.
She was a boy?
Huh?
She was a boy?
She was a dick tucker too.
Yeah. I met her as a boy.
Yeah.
She grew into a nice woman.
Right now, we're going through some struggles right now. Even we're both the same age, but dude, we started out when we were. I was with him in 2001, and here it is 2020. We've been together for a long motherfucking time, and we had only a couple years before we had our first child, and that was mainly because I lived in another city and he was in my old hometown, and like driving back and forth, and I don't know. It's just. We were kids, dude, and now we're adults, and it's like, I don't know, there's parts of me that's changed, and there's parts of him that hasn't changed, or, he hasn't quite caught up sometimes, and then I feel like I probably had a lot to do with that because I'm a fucking mom, and I mommed his ass too, Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like, I don't know.
But that's when the conversations need to be had, and hopefully you find you're with somebody that is open-minded, like being a critical thinker. It sucks being a critical thinker if you're the only critical thinker. So,
yeah.
So let's say I'm a good communicator and I know how to communicate my issues and problems and work out and, and come to solutions. But if your partner is not one of those, then it's almost pointless. It's like you can't have a rational, civil conversation with somebody who is not rational nor civil. You know what I mean? So choose wisely, motherfuckers.
It's like talking to a fucking wall.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky.
I'm the only critical, logical thinker.
But at the same time, women like to change. Women like to change, man. Women will meet a guy, involve themselves in a relationship, and then be like, well, I like him. I like everything about him except for the way he talks, the way he walks, the way he dresses, the way he eats. So they're like, but you know what? But he's trainable. So gradually the clothes start changing. You know what I mean? You're like, look at this guy in khakis. Why is this dude in khakis? He has wore jeans his whole damn life. He's with this girl, and all of a sudden he's rocking a polo shirt and khakis. You know, there's some shady shit going on. Somebody save that man, would you?
He was trained.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Dude. You can train a dude, but just like out in the wild, you can take a wild animal out of the jungle, and you can civilize him and make him a house, whatever. But eventually, that wild motherfucker is going to come out. So you might have him trained for about 10, 15 years, but eventually a man's going to get to that fuck it stage. He's married. Okay, once a man just acknowledges, okay, my wife's a fucking nagger. She bitches and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, what? Wait a minute. We can't say that word on.
Yeah, wait, Frank.
That was the
I
N-word.
said nagger. He said nagger
It was
goes.
an A. It wasn't an I.
Okay.
Good job.
Nagger goes.
Thank you,
Now
Frank, for that.
Now if I said naga,
Listen, but see, all right, now fuck all of you men over here. Okay, I'm just gonna start man hating now. But like, fucking naggers. All right, because I'm a fucking
well,
nagger.
that sounds inappropriate.
I'm a
Naggers.
motherfucking naggers. I am a nagger, but like, listen, at the end of the day, if I'm telling you some shit and 6 months later I'm still telling you, bitch, that ain't nagging. That ain't fucking nagging.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Bitch, that's not nagging. I'm sorry if I told you a year ago to fucking trim the goddamn trees. You trim the trees and then all the damn fucking branches are on the ground. And then it's a year later. I'm like, can you get the fuck? Yes, I'll get to it. Why are you guys gonna nag me? Bitch, it's been a fucking year.
Yeah.
Fucking nag. Take your fucking nag and shut up your fucking ass. I ain't no fucking nag. The fuck out there and pick that shit up. The fuck is wrong with you?
I have a project out there taking up space in my garage right now. I'm working on 2 years on this project.
See, fuck that shit. Clean your fucking shit.
It's literally taking up half my garage out there. And listen, I could probably have it done in 2 hours.
It's been there so long. It's been there so long. He turned it into a table.
Yeah.
And
So
it pisses me. I can't even walk the fuck outside into my fucking garage without fucking wanting to. I literally can't even go into that area because as soon as I do, I'm like, he's like, just don't even come out here. And it's like, don't even come out here? Yeah, motherfucker, because I step on fucking 17 fucking pieces of fucking whatever. Why do you need 72,000 fucking Circle K cups in this fucking bitch?
Yeah.
Go get the trash can that's empty, bitch. Fucking put them in.
Yeah, but see, but again, for a guy will eventually reach fuck it. So, okay, so here's what happens. So he's got his project, right? So as he's doing his project and he's on hold on the project, so he comes out to smoke a cigarette and sets his coffee cup down on the project, right? And then walks away, leaves it there. So then the next day he brings an ashtray out while he's smoking, you know what I mean? And he has it sitting on the project. So eventually he gets to a stage where he says, fuck it, because now in order for him to continue that project, he has to find what to do with all the shit he put on the project now. You know what I'm saying? I got like miscellaneous shit all over my project right now.
Why are
It's going to take me 2 hours.
Same as him, and I fucking can't stand that shit.
It'll take me 2 hours just to get the shit off of my project so I can do my project. I almost have my project hidden and nobody knows about it anymore.
It's so true. That's some ADD ass having motherfucking shit right there.
But it's because a man will have passion, you know, but like I'm good at everything, but I'm not great at anything. Does that make sense?
I like that you could admit that though. Like, I don't know, like.
See, I like that about me. Like, I can have any conversation about anything, and I can do anything enough for you to think, damn, I didn't know he could do that. Like, listen, I have a fucking didgeridoo. Do you know what a didgeridoo is?
Motherfucking didgeridoo, no.
Yeah. So I have 2 of them, and I can play it long enough to where if you came to my house and visited, and you were like, oh shit, a didgeridoo, and I'm like, hell yeah, and I pick it up and I can play it for a few minutes, just enough for you to think.
Just enough to impress you.
Yeah, can you believe he can play the didgeridoo?
This motherfucker plays a didgeridoo.
Yeah. So every time you see me, I'll be playing the same note, the only one that I know.
Oh shit, that's great.
But my point to that is that not only do I have that, but I also have a keyboard. I also have a karaoke machine. I also have
A podcast.
Yeah, a podcast. I'm in a Harley phase right now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and he goes through his phases too. He likes to tinker. He's got mini bikes. He makes fucking beach cruisers into fucking like actual cruising bikes with motors on them. He makes fucking cigar box guitars. Listen, we've got it all. I got Sanders. I got
Does he have a beard?
No, he has like a little goatee.
Okay. Well,
yeah, he wants a fucking Harley. That's his thing. Well, if I had a Harley, and it's like bullshit, because then it's just all this shit. Listen, he's got projects for motherfucking days, and he can fix anything. He's smart as hell. If you give him something that's broken, he's gonna fix it. And I love all of those things about him, but I just hate the fucking mess, dude. Like, finish this motherfucking shit before you start this project.
Yeah, but all due respect, that's what you're there for. That's in your genetic.
To nag his ass?
No, listen, that's in your genetics. This is a genetics thing. This is about you being a woman. You are a nurturer. You are the you know how to run a household. Guys are not like, how many? I bet your husband has walked by a trash on the floor and didn't pick it up. The guys aren't built like that. Guys don't think like that. Guys don't think, oh, trash.
Fuck
Let me
that.
pick it up. Women do. Women think
They
like that.
step the fuck over it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's because guys don't think. The guys don't think like.
Listen, get a goddamn hobby. I want you to be a fucking Mexican in the backyard. I want you to fucking get a hobby in landscaping, motherfucker. That's what I want.
Why do you think men don't lay out supper for that night, before they go to work?
I mean, I don't mind being the domestic one. I'm just saying, like, and I don't even mind. Listen, I love what he does. He's very creative, and I support all of his shit. I mean, I'll be like,
You'll just talk bad about him on a podcast.
No, you'll
like, this motherfucker.
Spend the money on some shit. You deserve it. You work hard for your family. Please do it. I want you to buy some shit that you like. I'm just saying that there's no need for 74 fucking Circle K cups right now. There's no need for your fucking last year's project to still be out, bitch. Clean that shit up. Get started on the new one. I'll support him. I put money into it. Whatever he wants. I've made fucking Facebook pages and shit for all of his fucking things. But just, goddamn. Fucking.
I'm with you on
don't call it nagging, motherfucker. It's not nagging.
That reminds me of a quick joke. There's a guy, he went to an attorney to get a divorce, and of course the attorney was asking a bunch of questions, and he was like, well, does she run around on you? And he was like, no, she's a good woman, she's good to me. He's like, well, does she not keep a clean house? Does she not work or anything? And he was like, no, she's great, she keeps a great house, she works and everything. And he says, well, I don't understand what the problem is. Is she a nagger? And he was like, no, she's a white woman about this tall.
I love it. No, she's white. That's like that joke that somebody says is that, my wife, she's always fucking getting on you. I tell her she don't have to remind me every fucking 6 months, like I'm gonna get to it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and that's a typical man, is that they'll do it in their own fucking time, and it's never the time I want. And I'm not saying jump. That's what my husband thinks. He thinks I'm saying like now.
Well, here's how you fix it. I'm Uncle Paycheck. Yeah, listen up now, everybody. Uncle Paycheck is gonna tell a little story.
Down. Let me get my pen. Go ahead.
You go out there and do it with him.
Oh, done. I've done it. Tried it.
Really? And that didn't work?
Oh no! It always goes back. Oh no! I've been on my hands and knees scrubbing some shit after. Just let's do this together. And nope.
Well, did you tell him how great he looked and how manly he was? He appeared as he was hammering and all that stuff.
For me once, and I was like, I fucking took him into the room and fucking showed him how much I was thankful for that. Things like that, but it still didn't work.
You should have asked him if you could help him with the 10mm.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, like, baby, you want me to get you the 10mm?
Listen, he can't find that shit. That shit's done in the lost. Nobody can find the 10mm.
I have 3 of them. Every time I see that, I never understand it. For some reason, I have 2 ratchet sets that, of course, have a 10mm in it, but I have 3 additional 10mm just floating in the bottom of my damn toolbox for some reason. I guess.
That's like my shit. I have the fucking like a curtain rod that's like hanging, and I'm like, hey, I need this shit like fixed. Can you get this? I need the drill, because I don't go out there. If I go out there, then we're starting to fight. That's what he knows. He's like, don't go out there, just don't.
But that's
then he can't find the fucking drill, and I'm like, of course you can't find the fucking drill. It's fucking buried under fucking 2 years of fucking project bullshit.
Yeah.
Go fucking find that shit.
Probably on one of those Circle K cups.
Yeah, I was like, fucking maybe you should find, just
it's like those. It's like the magic cups.
start throwing shit away. You'll find it eventually. God.
See, that's what I do, and that's how I'm able to keep my garage. I'm not a materialistic person. I have no problem with throwing anything away. So if I see it and I'm in a meh moment, that motherfucker's going in the trash. I'm like, man, I don't, I haven't used it in 3 years.
The tools and the things, like, I'm all for that, but just like the actual trash though, like the actual trash should be thrown away.
I take pride.
Keep everything you want. And I like that. I just think like it should just kind of be like an organized chaos. If you want to have your I want him to have his space. I want him to be a man. I want him to have his own things. I don't want to take all his shit away from him. I don't want him to change who he is. Like he can be that tinker guy. That's what he likes to do. I love when he's in his element. However, when I have to walk out and fucking like can't even fucking walk a straight line because of all the shit everywhere, it drives me fucking crazy.
So it's safe to say that you're one of those women that I love everything about him except for the way he keeps his garage, except for the Circle K cups, about
the trash, the hoard.
Projects.
And it's because I'm a nagger.
Yeah.
But that's what I nag about. But see, that's why I say it. Women have a right to nag. That's the shit you should be listening to. If she's fucking bitching about something, it's for a good reason. Like, that shit drives her nuts. Like, I'm sure there's shit about me. I know there's shit about me that drives him crazy. And talk to me about it. I'll do my best to fix it. Or to do it a different way.
So, how old were you two when you first met or when you started dating?
We were friends for a while before, but we started we officially hooked up like when, 17 and a half, 18 years old. So it's been a long time.
That's rough. And a lot of those relationships don't make it.
Yeah. Well, we're 18 years right now. So it's like,
that's where, that's
why I say, like, you're a different person from when you were that age, from so young to now. I mean, they say a man doesn't even fucking grow the fuck up until he's 40.
The way I see it, a man and a woman that are married or whatever, they're involved in a race to the finish line. If one person's not racing and the other one is, then one is outgrowing the other. Yeah. And that's a big problem.
Keep that steady pace together.
Well, it's I'm passionate about a bunch of different things, and it's hard to find something that you're passionate about that you can involve the other one in. Like, I ride Harleys. My wife don't ride Harleys. I go to MMA gym. My wife, she ain't trying to go to an MMA gym. You know what I mean? So it's hard to find. But it's just like buying a house. It's hard to find a house that's already built, that has everything that you want in it as a guy, and have everything that you want in it as a woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's like the 80-20 rule. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so your partner has 80% of what you're looking for in a partner, and they're going to lack 20%. That's every relationship. Nobody is going to be 100%. They're always
nobody's perfect. I agree.
It's usually, from a guy's perspective, it's either, okay, she can't cook. So that's the 20% right there. She's great at everything. She works, keeps a clean house, can't cook worth a shit. So that's 20%. Other women, it's everything's great, but sex sucks. So she got a badass job, she makes good money, she's dependable, she's family oriented, but I gotta fuck this for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? That's 20% of my shit right there that I'm just, giving away, But the hard part about it is the 80-20 rule is that, okay, let's say that you find, what you're looking for, and the 20% is important when you're in your 30s. Let's take sex, for example. So let's say that a man meets a woman, and 80% of her is awesome, but 20% the sex sucks. But that 20% is huge to the man. You know what I mean? So, but when he's 80, is it still going to be 80-20?
Nope.
I mean? No. So.
And that's like it is for him. That's how it is for me. Is like we always had like amazing sex, and so like all the bad shit that I see, I'm always like, well, we like to fuck, and it's always great. And that's huge to me. I wouldn't say it's based on it, but it's definitely one of the reasons it's made it this far. Yeah, I'm just saying, but that's because it's of huge importance to me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been huge in every one of my relationships.
It's not as huge to him as it is to me. He doesn't. It's not up. Like, I'm the initiator. I'm the one that initiates it pretty much every time. So it's more important to me than it is to him. So I don't know.
See, they say opposites attract.
Yeah, and I believe that too. And he's a lot of the, I'm really social and outgoing, and he's not. You know, he likes to stay at home and fucking do his thing. I'm the one that likes to fucking go out and have fun. But you know, I don't know. So there's a balance to all of it, but it's just.
But is there? You go through times where you're like, okay, listen, I'm almost tired of all this shit, really.
Yeah, like I want him to come out and like be a part of that sometimes, or I don't know, come work out with me at the gym. Like that'd be tight, but no.
Yeah.
No, shit like that. But we all, you know, it's like all about just accepting. You either have to accept it or you have to fucking figure it out and move the fuck on. One of the two.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I was with my ex-wife for 12 years, and I ended up having kids with her. And I was so involved in being a dad that I was willing to stay in a verbally abusive marriage. Mm-hmm. And I did it for the longest time because my kids didn't understand the words that were being said. But then when they got to a certain age and they understood the words that were being said, that was a game changer for me. So during this whole 12 years, I was unhappily married. I just got out of prison. I was a boy. I was looking for a security blanket, a good woman, didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't run the roads, and I found her, and she's a great woman. Her mom wore the pants in her family, so she grew up with that mentality. Mm-hmm. I'm Southern and old-fashioned. My dad wore the pants in my family. My dad says that's not true to this day as an adult. He said just as a child, that's what you saw.
Oh.
I didn't know what was going on behind closed doors. So every man says that they're the man of the house, but once you go in that bedroom and the doors are closed and the serious business is talked about, you are not you are not the HNIC in that motherfucker at that point. When you go in the bedroom and the doors closed, you just lost your man card for the most part. But it was at that point. But prior to that, I asked people, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And everybody's answer was the same. I cannot answer that for you.
Yeah, I know.
One day, my dad was on his deathbed on his second bout with cancer.
Oh, wow.
And as an adult, I sat beside that bed holding his hand, and I asked, what is one thing that you want your grown son to know? Coming from you, my dad's a rough, rugged, badass.
Yeah.
So he said, don't be where I'm at with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And I'm pretty sure I left within a month.
Now, I like that.
When I left, I had her by her throat. So there, you know, I was forced out, really. Once you get to that point, that's forcing me out at that point. If I have to do that to you, you have forced my hand. And it's the typical shit. It's what most women do. They attack a man's manhood. That's most women's go-to move because they know you can't hit them. So they
can.
Huh?
They can. They shouldn't, but they can.
Right, and I tell my daughters that if you put your now this is.
But when I smack my fucking dude in the face, 5 fucking times and his nose is bleeding, he might need to put his hands on me to make it stop. I'm not saying that you should do that. But I think that everybody goes to that shit.
Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. I'm coming over, getting over the cold over here.
Choking on that dick.
All right, so let's reel it in. I'm enjoying the chemistry. We got vibes. You're good people.
You're am, right?
Real knows real. I don't agree with some of your stuff.
That's okay. That's what I like. I don't like that. There's no such thing as always agreeing. Like, I think differences of opinion is fucking what I love about podcasting.
But do you believe that culture and environmental or geographic location makes you who you are and have the beliefs that you have?
I don't know. I just know that my life has got me where I am today. I don't know. I'm not in a. I can't say I'm sure I'd be a different. You'd be completely different if you were in a different geographical location.
Where do you live?
I'm in Tempe, Arizona. Grew up in a small town, 45 minutes west of here, called Buckeye.
All right,
small town, farm town.
So had I not traveled the world, I'm a military brat, so
yeah.
I lived outside of this country for a majority of my life. Mm-hmm. So my morals, what I deem to be moral, could be different from you being from Arizona.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a big Hispanic culture in Arizona. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you could pick up on a lot of that because I'm Texas, Hispanics, they go hand in hand. So your culture might involve Latin traditions. Where mine wouldn't. Well, I take that back. We are pretty close to Puerto Rico, so I'm sure there's Puerto Rican and Cubans and
Puerto Ricans. What is that?
yeah, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Ricans. We got them Puerto Ricans.
I was trying to roll my R's and just failed.
Yeah, that did not work out.
Yeah, I was trying.
I love Mexican food. Is that what you're talking about?
Hey, listen, being a truck driver. I was in a team truck with this guy, and we're just old country boys from the southeast. So we're literally, the left side of us is Mexico, the right side of us is United States. That's how close we were to the border. And we found this sweet.
I'm 5 hours from the border, so.
Yeah, I think we were in. Shit, I just lost it. Just as soon as I was getting ready to say I lost it. But anyway, we found this sweet, authentic Mexican restaurant. And I know, yo hablo poquito español. So I wanted to order in Spanish. So I went up there and ordered in Spanish, and she responded in English. And I was fucking offended. How dare you speak to me in my native language when I'm trying to speak to you in your native language?
Yeah.
Right here on the fucking border, for crying out loud. So then my co-driver, he comes up. He's one of those belt buckle and cowboy boots. You know what I mean? So he gets up to the counter and he sticks his thumbs in his belt buckle, both of them, and he rocks back on them cowboy boots. Something fierce, son. Oh, West like a big old West. And he looks up at her and he was like, "Y'all have one of them there tortillas?"
Get me one of them tortillas.
Yeah. As soon as he said tortillas, dude, I lost it. And he was serious.
Yeah, we go to Rocky Point, and my buddy always he's the whitest motherfucker. He's as red over here, and he fucking always has to, flare his Spanish around there, and he sounds so fucking stupid. He'll be like, "Oh, me." I mean, I can understand it because I grew up here, so I feel like if you talk to me in Spanish, usually I can interpret it. I may not be able to respond to you, but I know what the fuck you said.
You can probably pick up a few words that give you an idea on what it was about.
Oh yeah. I know you can definitely, but he's always like, yeah. And he'll be like, order port, and he'll say it, and but it's so white. I can't explain it. It's just so horrible.
Let me get one of them carne asada.
Yeah.
Burritos.
Yeah.
Let me get the fajitas.
That's what I say. I say, "Can I get the fajitas?" My friend calls it carne estrada. It's good shit.
I did learn that slang is different. Like if you're in California, that's Mexican slang. If you're in Florida, that's Cuban and Puerto Rican slang. So like if somebody on the East Coast would walk up to somebody and be like, "Hey, ¿qué pasó?" That's like, "What's up?" But it's not. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's exactly right. It's time to go.
Was that Frank?
Wrapping it up.
That was Frank. Yeah.
Frank came in hot. Sorry about that, Frank. Let's wrap this bitch up.
Yeah, I got to go do this press conference crap. We're getting big over here at Paycheck and Red. We got a press conference in our cowboy boots.
I love it.
Saying y'all.
All right, well.
Like, oh my God, say y'all again.
Y'all.
Be like, y'all.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Y'all.
Well, there it is. There's another episode.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Fucking.
We've been with Heather. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Female's perspective.
Love it.
Even if I don't agree with all of it.
It's okay. Most people don't.
You
either love me or you hate me. There's really no in between.
I just wanted to go on record that my way was right.
Bye.
We'll save that for another episode.
And don't forget to turn a cheek on that dick on the lip.
Yeah. All right, let's end it right there. Dick on the lip. That's all we have time for today. See ya.
You've been listening to the Paycheck and Red podcast. Check out Paycheck and Red on Facebook at Paycheck and Red and Twitter at Paycheck and Red. And don't forget to subscribe to Paycheck and Red on YouTube at the Paycheck and Red podcast.